You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 219. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart, a knuckle-headed, knock-kneed, gold-bricking meatball. Thank you, Sergeant Duffy.
Yeah! Comic Reflections is brought to you by The Outhouse. You can find our show and other neat content at theouthousers.com. And if you enjoyed this program, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. If you want to be a cool, super groovy cat, you could leave us a review on the iTunes. Yeah, rate and reviews, because it's helpful and junk.
Yeah.
Okay. Me learn to talk pretty someday.
Yeah.
So
Beauty am good.
Yes, Beauty am good. So last week we didn't record because I went to Comic-Con and it was fun. Rose City Comic-Con.
Yeah. I tried to go, but they wouldn't let me in. I wasn't nerdy enough.
Oh man.
No, I don't like crowds, so.
Yeah, you would not like that though. Yeah. But there were some really wonderful panels that I went to that you would have enjoyed. There were some academics and good stuff. There was a Jack Kirby panel. Mm-hmm. There was a panel on the Spirit. Will Eisner. You may have heard of him.
Yeah.
And a few others. I attended a live taping of Rachel and Miles Explain the X-Men, which is the best podcast on the internet, hands down.
Wow.
And that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can say I crossed over on their show.
Okay.
And they also hosted another panel about podcasting. I attended that and actually met listeners of our show.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are some?
Yeah, they exist. And had a nice conversation after the panel with Josiah from I can't remember if it's Josiah or Tobiah, and I'm sorry. It's one of those names I get all goofified. From A View from the Gutters, which is a nice podcast that I enjoy at times.
Oh.
They talk about they do like a book club. They talk about a different graphic novel or trade paperback every week. So it's a good one to cherry pick. So I listen to a bunch of the ones I'm like, oh, I've read that. But it's a good program.
Oh, it sounded like you had fun.
I did have fun. No, it was a total drag.
Did you learn anything?
I did, and learning is good.
Okay.
Yes. The podcasting panel, I did get some ideas just for marketing the show, which is just technical crap that I don't need to get in right now. But anyway, a good time had by all. Comic-Cons are groovy. Go to one next time they have one.
Okay.
Near you. So anyway, we're going to start this episode. We're going to talk about some more Captain America.
Yeah.
And we'll start with Tales of Suspense, number 67. Cover dated July of 1965. Cover art by Jack Kirby, penciled by Kirby rather, and inked by Carl Hubble. And on this cover, we've got it's more of an Iron Man cover. The top section, we've got Iron Man in battle with the Melter and the Black Knight and the Crimson Dynamo, and some guy with giant hands. I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
It might be Gigantus or Gargantus or something. Or it could be somebody else altogether.
Yeah.
And, of course, the lower portion of the cover is Cap fighting Nazis. What?
Yep. Imagine.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this first story we're going to talk about, of course, we're just going to be talking about these Cap stories. Someday in the future, we'll talk about the Iron Man stories from Tales of Suspense. It'll happen, I promise. But, anyway, the story is called Lest Tyranny Triumph. Written by Stan Lee. Penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Frank Giacoia. And what's going on here? The Red Skull has brainwashed Cap, right?
Yeah, that's where we was at last issue.
Episode
and
issue.
Yeah. And Cap is now a Nazi. Yay! And he is, and the Nazis are training him, and he's going to kill the Supreme Commander, who is, of course, Eisenhower, but they make him somebody different. I'm not sure why. Because he's a president, maybe? And you don't talk about killing even guys before they're president or something?
I don't know. Or it could have been just Stan Lee wanted to just be vague.
Yeah. I think putting real people in it makes it more interesting to myself. It's more interesting. So.
Yeah, I think in the 80s when Roy Thomas was writing All-Star Squadron, which was set in World War II, and it's really just about all the golden age heroes of DC Comics. They had Roosevelt and Churchill and all those guys. So, and that was fun.
Yeah. Hey, they showed Hitler. Why not?
Right?
Yeah. They didn't say the Führer and it was somebody else. So, all right.
Right.
So, the Red Skull's really happy, and you actually see him almost smile.
Yeah.
All right, let me go back to this Bucky's captain, and he's about to be shot in front of his firing squad, and the Nazis say fire, and the bolts click. The guns are empty, and they start laughing. Man, what a nasty joke!
Oh yeah, the Nazis, they're a real barrel of laughs.
Yep, and that ticks off Bucky, and he kicks butt. And
well, because he realizes they're not actually armed, so he just springs into action.
And then they get arms, and I'm not sure how they did that. Or maybe they got the guns, and then they loaded them. And
yeah, because him and some other guys who were about to be executed, they beat up these Nazis, and then they take their guns and start shooting like they had like they were loaded. What?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yep. Okay.
I didn't notice that until just now. I was like, wait a sec. Wait a minute. So anyway, Bucky has escaped.
Yeah, and so we go to the Fuhrer. Yay!
Yay!
I think it was a big deal that they put Hitler as a character into the comic book.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, he's even more evil than the Red Skull, and even stupider, I think, too.
Well, I think the Red Skull is smarter than Hitler.
Yeah, I think so.
So I love how the Red Skull shows up at Hitler's, HQ, and he comes through a secret passageway in a bookcase. Classic.
Yeah. And the Red Skull has a surprise for Hitler. It's Captain America, and Hitler
thinks that he's been betrayed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
the Red Skull explains, no, he's my slave. I've got him brainwashed. And so the Red Skull decides to take a swing at Cap, and then
Adolf Hitler decides to take a swing at Cap.
Isn't that what I said?
You said Red Skull.
Oh, I meant Hitler. Sorry.
And then Cap immediately puts up his shield, and Hitler bashes his hand on Captain America's mighty shield, and it hurts him, and he's really mad.
Yeah.
So, oh man, but
it's pretty great.
Yeah. So we get the scenes of the the Germans are going to parachute into London. Great idea, and you can see them getting ready, which is kind of cool. But usually we see soldiers getting ready to gripe or make expositions about stuff, and
right, like in Sergeant Rock or Sergeant Fury in the Howling Commandos.
Right.
Usually when they're sitting around, that they're griping.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you see them that, or they're ready to jump into action.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah, it's really well drawn. The German parachutists have parachutist helmets, and I was impressed with that.
Oh, good.
So, and actually, they have the German rifles look good. I even have a Sturmgewehr, which is the first assault rifle.
Well, you do have to remember, Kirby did fight in World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he killed Nazis in real life.
Yeah. So, and more power to him. But you rarely see that in comic books. But there's got to be other veterans, and they don't show them. And that's why we love Kirby, because he has that detail, and then all these little bitty details just bring out the story and all.
Yeah.
All right. So Bucky finds a short parachutist and knocks him out, and puts on his uniform and joins up, which is impossible.
Well, and there's only a handful of these guys,
and they're highly trained, close-knit group. They would recognize somebody different.
Right.
I mean, if you had a family and somebody came in different and if you replaced your sister, you'd notice.
You mean, hey, Jan, you look different. Fake Jan.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But they go off into over England, and they fall out of the airplane like they're supposed to, and they meet a spy, and then Bucky beats up the spy in front of everybody else, so now they know he's a spy too, except for the other side. What's the point of that? Just, you know what the spy looks like. You can go tell headquarters.
I think it was Bucky needed to be able to get from point A to point B, and then they also needed a point for him to separate from the Nazis or have a scene of him fighting them, because they need to, stuff. They needed it to reveal that he wasn't one of them.
Right. Yeah.
It works.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bucky throws someone a grenade, and the German parachutist is really scared. And you're so scared you didn't notice I hadn't pulled the pin. I said, someone throws me a grenade.
And then Bucky bitch slaps him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Open palm. Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Grenades are scary. I've thrown them, and it's this little egg of death.
Nice.
Wow, they're heavy too.
Oh yeah.
So, they look so light in the films, but they're heavy.
Well, sure. That's the magic of moving picture shows.
Okay. So Captain America goes. Well, part of the group of parachutists are beating up Bucky, or getting beaten up by him. The rest of them go off to the Supreme Commander, whoever that was, and Captain America points a gun and he can't shoot. So one of the guys helps him pull a trigger, and blam! That's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
The dynamic duo. Oh, sorry, wrong show. But so the next issue, a great cliffhanger. So Cap was hesitant, even though brainwashed, he couldn't shoot Ike.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's cut to the next issue. It's Tales of Suspense number 68, cover dated August of 1965, and the cover was penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Frank Giacoia.
It's interesting. The last cover, Iron Man was bigger. This cover, Captain America's bigger.
Yeah. As we progress through these, they kind of give up the split cover format, and then they go to alternating. Every other cover is just a full Cap or Iron Man, and I think that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
They still have the big Captain America logo on the cover, so you know he's inside. But I think it makes for a more dynamic cover, I think, to like have that big thing. But so I understand.
Size matters in comics. That's one of the problems with the comic book. Comic page in the newspaper is so small.
Yeah.
And it used to be huge. It used to be a full page.
Each strip was a full page. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Sunday thing, it was just, I mean, not each strip, but in the Sunday page, half the page and maybe the full page. Some of the stuff is really gorgeous and beautiful.
Yeah.
But now you get nothing.
I know. In the time of the elves, you got Hal Foster and doing Prince Valiant and
Seagar doing Popeye and all kinds of
groovy cats. I'm Alex Raymond doing Flash Gordon and all those guys.
Yeah. We lived in the
Lee Falk doing the Phantom. Those are some great comics.
We lived in the Silver Age of for crying out loud, Bill Watterson's Calvin Hobbes.
Sure.
And the Far Side, but that was a pale echo of the.
Yeah, I mean after those, it's like who cares about comic strips in the newspapers?
Yeah.
But yeah, a different time.
Okay.
So this story is called The Sentinel and the Spy, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, and inked by Frank Giacoia. And the splash panel is Cap just fighting a whole bunch of guys.
Yep. And while the general's calling for help. And
now is Cap untransmogrified? Is he back on the side of the Angels?
Yeah, he's back on the side of the Angels.
He's been unwhammied, and now he's fighting Nazis. Yeah. Good.
And there's about 20 or 30 of them. And we have this great little panel on the bottom. There's about 20 people in the panel. It's pretty neat. And it's very Kirby-esque and delicious. So.
Of course.
It's done by Kirby, yeah, but it's a fine example of Kirby's drawing style.
Yes.
He knows how to fill a panel.
Yeah. Very few people can do, like, panels with lots of figures like that as well. I think another one very good example would be George Perez.
Okay. But, all right, so that's over with, and Captain America is happy that he's no longer a Nazi. So then we go back to the Red Skull, who doesn't seem that ticked off that it failed. And it just sort of... He should have just killed Captain America there. He was trying to make this huge propaganda coup by Captain America killing General Eisenhower, but just kill him for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, but the Red Skull is like the ultimate like a cliffhanger serial type of villain. I mean, and he's really born of the pulps and of those kinds of movies where like I've got you tied up. And instead of killing you, I'm going to tell you all about my master plan and then leave you to die while I go take care of it. And, of course, you get out and, thwart me.
Okay, here's another wacky plan of his. He's supposed to get this Project Vanish. And,
Project Vanish.
Yeah. So we go to a POW camp in England full of Germans.
Yeah.
And one of them's got this idea. Red Skull told him to send out a guy to... escape and which means they're going to be shot. But then, the prisoner says, "I'm happy here. I don't want to." So, "Well, you'll do it, or we'll kill you anyways." Okay, and he gets out, and he's shot in the leg. The guard is kind of nice. I just won't kill him. I'll just shoot him in the leg, which it's hard to do. It makes it easy. It sounds easy in the movies and comics, but wounding people isn't usually a good idea. But,
well, right.
Just shoot the guy. So the point of this is, since they lost the POW, that means they got to get a replacement, which doesn't make any sense. All right, we got a new replacement coming in, and the replacement comes in guarded by Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Bucky, the mascot, which they would not do. They would not have a mascot near a prisoner.
Right. This is why. This is a microcosm of like what I don't like about Kirby's World War 40s era series, The Boy Commandos.
Mm-hmm.
I can suspend disbelief and have a mascot along, but a whole group of kids fighting in World War II is just preposterous.
Yeah,
even for a comic book.
Oh, kids did fight, but no army or Western army is going to send out a bunch of kids to fight. And Hitler did, and I'm sure Stalin did as well, and Japanese did, but us, no. So
that's what makes America more gooder and different than them our bad guys.
Yeah. All right. So
this jingoistic message was brought to you by sorry,
Twix Candy Bar.
Yeah.
All right. So the prisoner, he's got some sleep gas on him because I guess they don't examine the prisoners, and he's got it underneath in his underarm, and so he takes out and blows some smoke and escapes. And all it does is smoke because I don't think they're knocked out.
Okay.
All right. So the Nazi takes off his shirt and gets some more of these capsules, and he goes off. I guess he knows where Project Vanish is because he's right there.
Sure.
And I guess that's the entire point. So they'll drive him up to where the place where Project Vanish is being made, and so he can catch it, which seems weird. And so, why do they take a different route? For crying out loud.
Oh yeah.
Or something. Or all right. That's a comic book.
Oh yeah.
So, Steve and Bucky are following him, and they go to this place. And says, "Oh, this looks kind of obvious, and this can't be it. But we'll check out the obvious anyway." Sure enough, there's a bunch of GIs knocked out from the Nazi gas. And then their guns start disappearing, which is kind of cool. But oh man, I love the Kirby guns. That is so awesome.
Yeah, the gun that is Project Vanish, of course, because it's a gun. It makes stuff vanish.
Right.
But it works it's like a laser gun that once it hits stuff, parts of it will disappear because he cuts off the tops of trees, and you'll see the stumps.
Yeah, I mean they disappear, and they don't. To where? Yeah, I don't know what.
To Mom's house.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the soldier fights, the Nazi soldier fights Captain, does a pretty good job of it. A really cool scene where the army comes up with tanks and all this, and the Project Vanish gun zaps part of a tank and it disappears, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's cool how the beam is narrow enough that it just makes parts of stuff disappear. You know what I mean? You would have to it would work. It works like an eraser almost. I like that rather than the beam shoots a thing and the whole thing disappears.
Yeah, that's easier, and they do that in the movies, but at least in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And then Star Trek, but half of it is kind of cool.
Yeah,
there's a half a person that would kind of suck.
Yeah, well. Guess what? They'd be all the way dead, so...
Yeah, it wouldn't, it raised the rating from a PG to an R really quick.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have like you could make part of half of somebody disintegrate in a code comic.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Or yeah. So all right, the German spy is blasting people away, and Cap says, "Well, don't hit that button. It makes it go to 11, and that kill everything." And oh, what a great idea! And
and of course, the machine overloads.
Mm-hmm.
Cap realized the thing was getting too hot, or he knew some stuff about it, and so
yeah, and that's how it ends. So he gets back in his uniform, and Sergeant Duffy comes by and complains that he's going to be okay. So,
yeah, because he doesn't like Private Steve Rogers.
no, he doesn't. Oh.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next issue. It's Tales of Suspense number 69, cover dated September of 1965. Cover art penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Don Heck, the Iron Man portion, and the Cap portion inked by Mike Esposito. On this cover, Iron Man is getting his ass handed to him by the Titanium Man.
And it looks cool. It is awesome. And I don't know who the evil lady... Well, she's wearing black.
Oh, that's the Black Widow.
Is it?
I'm sure of it. And on the tiny, tiny portion of the cover that has Captain America, Cap and Bucky are looking at a castle through some trees.
Yeah. The Iron Man is... I would want to read the Iron Man.
We will.
Yeah.
In the future.
But if I was buying this, I'd... Oh boy, Iron Man. Oh, Captain America. It's interesting they're going back and forth.
Yeah. So let me give it. This story is called Midnight in Greymore Castle, and it was written by Stan Lee, with the art layouts by Jack Kirby, and then the pencils and inked by Dick Ayers.
Mm-hmm.
I explained before about how layouts work.
I guess.
Kirby, when someone's listed as they did the layouts, that means they created thumbnails like in a movie they do the storyboards.
Yeah.
And then they can just hand that off to the guy who's going to do the pencils, and then it'll just go a lot faster. But having the Kirby do the layouts, we get a great idea of how the panels should be set up and all that stuff. And then Dick Ayers could just go. Dick Ayers inked a lot of Kirby's monster work in the late 50s and the early 60s, so he's an ideal person to just to go from his layouts. Because he knows the Kirby way.
Okay.
So yay!
Yeah. All right.
Cool splash panel. Cap and Bucky have been captured by bad guys.
Yep.
And they're about to be dropped into a vat of hot badness. What is it?
Radiation.
Radiation.
Yeah, which I hear is bad for you. Although it also gives you superpowers. I don't know. Is it? Hold on. Gamma radiation made the Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of radiation making somebody powerful.
Well, Spider-Man, the radioactive spider.
That's right.
And then the cosmic rays gave the Fantastic...
cosmic rays, are they radiation? Well, everything's radiation.
Yeah, if it's a ray, it's radiation. It's space radiation.
Yeah.
From outer
radiation,
space.
Radiation. What we all know and love.
Yeah.
So, so they go down the radiation and it shrinks them, and the evil doctor puts them into a
bottle.
But they're not real. It's a foolie.
Oh, man.
The second time they've done this.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke about Brainiac, but then you kept talking. But that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
That's okay. The moment's passed.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, yeah, a mad doctor.
Yeah.
In a comic book?
What? Yeah, but Nazis. So he's an English guy. He lost his hand.
In a lab accident.
Yeah.
That his sister caused.
Yeah, we never understood... It's never explained that part.
Just her carelessness. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But she's younger than him, and she's this beautiful girl.
Yeah. His name is Dr. Rawlings, and let's see. And Major Uberhardt is the Nazi bad guy.
As opposed to the Nazi good guy.
Yeah, it means Oberhardt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't,
Yeah. So
read too much into that.
Yeah. We get a lot of exposition about his hand and blah, 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 blah.
And he wears a glove that looks like a people hand over his robot hand.
Yeah.
If I was going to lose my hand and get a robot hand, that's still pretty cool. I mean, it's like he's old. It's not like he's going to get a girl anyway.
Yeah, unless he gets rich.
Oh, yeah. Well, he will by betraying his country to the Nazis, which he's doing
Yep. All right, so we see Cap is marching along they're getting ready for the big push.
As Private Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And the big push, is that supposed to be like D-Day?
No, it's not. Normally the big push is you're already in Europe and you're about to take some more land. That's a big push.
Oh, okay.
This is actually a raid, and I didn't know that he was in the Rangers. I thought it was just a regular Joe.
Well, they're just... Consistency is not always a hallmark of comic books, especially in this era. Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it got better in the Silver Age, but like Golden Age, it's like stuff could vary like wildly from issue to issue.
No, they didn't care.
Which was the subject of one of the panels I went to at Comic-Con was about lost or forgotten heroes of the Golden Age, and they talked about just how like because the rules hadn't been established yet, they're just trying. Publishers were just trying anything to see what sticks. Okay, and there was a hero published by Nidor Comics, I believe, the Black Terror, and the Black Terror is cool. But they're talking about how one issue of that comic, Black Terror, is like throwing cars around and super powerful, and the next one, he's clearly not like super powerful like that. He's more of a Batman, and the tone and look is drastically different as well. And we're talking one issue apart, but that kind of stuff would happen all the time.
Yeah, yeah. We're nitpicking here.
I know, but I just wanted to bring it up because fun.
Yeah, it is.
The Black Terror is rad, by the way.
Cool.
I'll bring up a picture on Google Image while you keep talking about the story.
Okay. So they're getting ready for the big push, and Bucky wants to come along, and Steve tells him, no, you're not going on a raid into Nazi-occupied Europe. And Bucky's really mad about that, but for crying out loud, what does he expect?
I don't know.
So Bucky stays behind. The Rangers go by boat into Europe, and the Nazis, not knowing that the big push is happening, blows up some stuff near the camp, so they get Bucky and Captain America get their attention because they want to capture them and actually make them into little bitty dudes.
Wow.
So Bucky's there, so he goes off to fight him, and he gets his butt kicked. And he's captured. They take him to Castle Grayskull. Oh, what is it? It's a Greymore Castle.
Castle Grayskull. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Nick is a big He-Man fan.
I am.
That does look cool.
I'm showing Jeff this splash panel from the Black Terror, as drawn by Jerry Robinson, who was one of Bob Kane's best ghost artists, and Mort Meskin.
Yeah.
Who was awesome.
Well, that's very well done.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so the Rangers attack, and they're outnumbered, but they kick German butt. Steve goes into a headquarters, and he hears a radio. He goes up to the radio guy and knocks him out. And he reads the radio messages, which are luckily in English. So,
how convenient!
And they have all this. All the secret messages happen to be in this one place. So he finds out that Bucky is prisoner at Greymore Castle.
Yeah. And
so he runs off, but he doesn't read all the messages. And one of the messages is that Nazi help is on the way, and they're going to crush the Rangers.
Oh man!
So, all right, Captain America steals a Nazi bike and gets onto a Nazi. Well, they say fighter, but it's obviously a bomber. And goes in, beats up everybody, and flies it across to England, to Greymore Castle.
Yeah.
And he gets through defenses with not much trouble. No, they see him. The British see him and start shooting at him, but he makes it, and that's how it ends.
Yeah, we left on a cliffhanger there. So now on to Tales of Suspense number 70, which is cover dated October of 1965. with the cover art penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Mike Esposito. And this cover is all Captain America, and it's rad. A big Nazi rocket is in the corner, and dudes in armor, and Cap fighting and looking rad.
Yeah, Nazi officer pointing, and Bucky tied up, which is good.
Yeah.
Bucky should be tied up always.
Is that right?
Oh, God.
Okay. So this story is called If This Be Treason, and was written by Stan Lee, with layouts by Jack Kirby, and penciled and inked by George Tuska, who I like George Tuska, and I think he's just swell in this. Boy, I love his Golden Age stuff. Is just far and away puts this to shame, though.
Does it?
Yeah, we saw some of his stuff in it was either Crime Does Not Pay or Justice Traps the Guilty, and it was just beautiful stuff.
Yeah. All right. So last issue, Cap captures a plane, and this issue they show him how they do it. So there's no, we know he wins. So they'll show you how he takes over the plane by beating these guys up. And okay, we already know what happened. So.
But it's fun, and for somebody, if they didn't read the first part, this is neat. It opens up with Captain America kicking butt, fighting Nazis on an airplane. Come on.
Okay.
Stow your cynicism.
Oh.
Just this once.
Okay. Alright, Bucky's tied up, and they're preparing a trap for Captain America.
This is at Greymore Castle.
Right. And the evil Dr. Rawlings and his beautiful sister, who is a good girl. So they know that Captain America is coming over, so I don't know how, but they radio him and say, hey, we're waiting for you, come on. And so,
hopefully he's not bringing copies of the Watchtower for them to...
Right. So, Captain America has to fight off British anti-aircraft guns and fighters, and being in a bomber, he easily gets away from the fighters, which is interesting. So he escapes into the woods and goes and climbs into the castle. He busts down the door, and there is Bucky. And Bucky's tied up so he can't warn him. But Captain America ought to know there's a trap here. So the guy's sister comes out and warns him, and then the Nazis start shooting, and doesn't ever do any good because he's got that shield.
Oh yeah, I forgot Captain America has that shield.
Yeah. So the Germans are dressed like knights, and they start pounding on them. And
in the old time suits of armor,
yeah.
They're super bulky and they'll protect you, but there's no moving around real good.
I've seen people. I've seen documentaries where people will somersault with them. They're pretty light and all that. They are heavy. They are constricting. You can't see very well in them, But
Captain America would make short work of guys like that.
And he does.
But it makes really cool handful of panels with Cap fighting these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we do it. Come on.
Right.
But somebody hits a big old mace against the Cap shield. It's great.
Boom. So the evil Nazis put on gas masks and they gas him. And so they capture him, and they're going to put him into a
V2 rocket.
Yeah. Oh, we see the Nazis coming with tanks and all this stuff. They're going to kill the Rangers. This is going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the Rangers run back to the beach, and they can't find Steve, so they think that Steve
is a deserter.
Yeah.
You think that sometimes that's a weird they immediately jump to that conclusion. Maybe he got blowed up.
Or he's not.
Or he got lost in the explosions and stuff that are happening.
Yeah,
it is a war.
Yeah, they're in another city in a foreign land. Getting lost happens a lot in war.
Yeah, so it's weird. He must be a traitor. He must have bailed on us. Wow, just assume the very worst right off the bat.
Okay, so Captain America's taken to the V2, which is amazing. They can secret a V2 rocket into England. Which is...
Maybe they built it there in the castle?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
I just explained it. Do-do-doodly-doo.
Okay. Well, even then, it's kind of... That's a lot of work.
It's plus also comics.
Yeah. All right, so they're gonna put them in the rock and they're preparing to fire. The end. So.
The end, but not really the end. We're just gonna go to the next issue. Let's see, which is Tales of Suspense number 71. Cover dated November of 1965. Cover art by Jack Kirby and inked by Wally Wood.
Wow.
Look how bitchin' those inks are, man.
Yep.
It's rad. And of course it's Iron Man kicking the crap out of Titanium Man.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, I think it was the issue before, or a couple issues ago,
yeah.
It was Titanium Man kicking Iron Man's ass. But now the tables have turned. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. And so our cap story is called When You Lie Down with Dogs. Written by Stan Lee, with layouts by Jack Kirby, penciled by George Tuska, and inked by Joe Sinnott.
Okay, Cap is asleep, or is he? He's being laid into the rocket.
Yeah.
And the Nazi is sending, since the evil scientist's sister betrayed them, they're going to put them in the rocket as well, along with Bucky and Cap. And the Doctor's really mad about it, but the Nazi doesn't care because he's a traitor anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But Cap is only fooling, so he wakes up and beats up the
no
Nazi.
honor among thieves.
All right.
I love that expression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we got a huge fight, and it's pretty cool. Not a walk, and thought and quacks.
Yes.
So
he's the Fozzie Bear of superheroes.
Yeah. Actually, wow, I didn't think of that. Did you know that there's going to be? You heard of the news show?
It's already on.
Yes, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't watched it.
It's supposedly more adult, and it's like The Office. You know how they do that. That's how odd. I don't like those kind of comedies. So
okay, well then don't watch it.
Well, I won't. But
jeez, why don't you bitch about it?
I will.
Jeez.
That's what I do.
Oh yeah, he's gonna piss and moan and complain all day. It's Jeff doodly doo. Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
I actually made up that song a while back, and I've been waiting it for just the right moment.
Great. Yeah. All right. I'm impressed. All right.
As you should be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Evil guy's sister dies, so he blows up the place with all the Nazis. He already get knocked out. So, but they're going to send the V2. The plan was to send the V2 rocket into London and blow it up with Cap and Bucky and the girl.
Yeah.
So, but instead, they found out about the Rangers. I don't know how, but so they're going to send a V2 rocket off and hit the Germans attacking the Rangers. And of course,
maybe the Nazis that were fighting the Rangers radioed to the Nazis in the castle.
Why?
I don't know, because it's all part of the plan, man.
Yeah.
The Nazi plan.
Right. So, the evil Dr. Rawlings, who turned good at the end, he goes mad and he dies in flame. And the V2 rocket goes and destroys all the Nazis, killing more Germans than the V2s killed English people in World War II. It's just... The V2 rocket's really cool. It had a small payload, wasn't very accurate. Couldn't be stopped, which is what made it scary, but it really didn't kill that many people.
Okay.
I don't know if it killed a couple thousand, maybe some of that.
Well, that's more than I ever killed, so it's impressive.
Yeah, not as many as I.
Okay.
All right, so they win. The Nazis are beaten.
Yeah. So, hey, Tales of Suspense number 72. This is what we're going to talk about now. Yes. Cover dated December of 1965. Cover art by penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Mike Esposito, and it's a Captain America cover. Again, we have the sleeper robot, and you know it's evil because it's got a big swastika on the chest, rocking around, destroying stuff, zapping things out of its robot hands. It's great.
I don't think so. I don't. I like the cover, but I don't like the robot.
No, it's dumb. It's super golden agey looking, and in a 1960s comic, that's pretty jarring.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very cartoony.
Right.
But whatevs.
Yeah.
So, the story is called the. What did I say? This was Tales of Suspense number 72, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Sleeper Shall Awake. Written by Stan Lee, with layouts by Jack Kirby, pencils by George Tuska, and then 3 different inkers, so like, whatever, I'll just... the first 4 pages are inked by Wally Wood.
Cool.
Which, I was like, that makes perfect... before I looked up the credits, I was looking at it, and I was like, a couple panels, like, man, that looks like really Wally Wood, like...
Mm-hmm.
Because in the splash panel, they list some credits, but they don't... They just say George Tuska did the art. They don't credit the inkers in this instance, so... Comics.org, you are a blessing. So...
Okay. First splash panel.
Yeah.
We have...
Wait, I wasn't done giving all the credits. No.
There's more?
Yeah. Wally Wood inked the first 4 pages, then George Tuska inked pages 5 through 7, and then Carl Hubble did the last 3 pages. So, anyway, go ahead. Splash panel. The Avengers are sitting around listening to Captain America tell stories.
Which was the last few episodes, issues.
Yeah. I think Marvel decided they were getting letters and like, can we have more contemporary stories? I think that the idea of going back and doing World War II set stories was a cool idea, but the fans weren't exactly eating it up.
Wonder why?
I don't know. Because having Cap fight super villains or more science fiction-y things than Nazis was maybe better.
Maybe.
But at this time, this is interesting. The Avengers lineup is Cap's kooky quartet: Hawkeye, the Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver.
Oh, I couldn't think of his name, so I was calling him Speedy Gonzalez.
Right.
Yeah, that's a weird...
It's a weird lineup, and they got that nickname because it was just kind of odd, but those are really fun issues of the Avengers to read.
Yeah.
And we'll read them in the future.
Okay. Alright, so... Alright. Cap goes to bed, and they mentioned Bucky, and he's still upset about that, which, my God, it's been 20 years. It's one of them said.
Well, here's the thing. He has been asleep for 20 years, remember?
Yeah.
But also, okay, look. This is something they talked about at the Kirby panel I went to at Rose City Comic Con. Yay! Moderated by Professor Ben Saunders from University of Oregon. But anyway, and he teaches the comic studies and he teaches English there. But anyway, Kirby went to war, okay?
Yeah.
And Cap's, hanging on to and being hung up on the death of Bucky is... There's a lot of things that work there. Oh, the great Captain America. He could save anybody, but he couldn't save his junior partner. Okay? But also, Cap has post-traumatic stress syndrome. Cap has hyper arousal, like, ready for action at any moment. But, okay, so... and Cap has, especially with Bucky, survivor's guilt. All these things are really heavy laying on Cap, and it makes sense that this is something he can't get over.
He feels too much. So.
Well, I don't wonder why you get so bent out of shape and call people emo when they actually emote.
All right, you're right. Too much of it I don't like, and I think they do it too much. A little bit goes a long way on this. 50 million people died, and he's worried about one guy.
I know, but look, if Captain America, yeah, he's a great hero, but if he's just all smiles and ready for action all the time...
No, but they do it too much, I think, and they just lay it on too thick. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't mind him thinking about his buddy, but my God.
I think we're going to have like 7 or 8 phone books of Captain America to read. I hope you're not going to be like hung up on this the whole time.
No, I won't mention again, but
okay.
I have spoken.
Okay. So, he's haunted by dreams of the Red Skull.
Yeah, which is really, really cool.
Oh, it's super creepy.
Yeah. So we get to the point where the Red Skull is about to be defeated.
Yeah.
They find that they're in Red Skull's hidden bunker. And he follows the Red Skull into the bunker, and
now this is a flashback.
Yeah, flashback. And Red Skull is trying to throw a grenade, and it blows up in his hand, and he's dying. And he says, 20 years, you'll get yours. So it'll be Der Tag, the day in German.
Yeah.
And then he gets bombed by the Americans. So, and then Steve said, "Oh, that's what's been bugging me." And Red Skull said, 20 years, it's 20 years. In 1965, there's going to be something happening.
Yeah. And so, back in Germany, doodly-doodly-doo.
Oh, no. He has this box he got from Red Skull, and then he looks in...
it's just something he's been saving all that time.
Yeah, I would have looked at it or something. He has these agents and where they are. That'd be pretty... Hey, well...
The Red Skull has these agents. Slow down.
The Red Skull has these agents, but he doesn't show... I guess Captain America was knocked out before he could give these this information to the Allies. They might be interested in seeing the Red Skull sleeper agents. And this is what they are, sleeper agents. So
okay. Which is fun because they're going to awaken the sleeper robots.
Yeah. So, and they do the first one. And this guy dresses up in his Nazi uniform. And here comes a stupid robot coming. It's pretty, I don't know how...
It's pretty fun. It's pretty formidable. If this giant... It looks goofy, okay?
Yeah.
But if a giant robot like this came tromping through your town, you would still run away.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be still going pee-pee in my pantalones.
Right. I would be laughing at the aesthetics of the thing, but running away too.
Right.
So Cap gets there just in time, and he cannot defeat it, and the robot kicks his butt. It is impervious to the shield and zaps him with his... They have these arms like they do in... What's the show? Lost in Space, that robot?
Yeah, where it can't really do anything like with these hands. But anyway, it has them anyway. They're like pinchers.
Yeah.
But they're not really good for anything.
Except for zapping.
Yeah.
Which I guess is enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, so this Nazi...
And if you ask Dick Van Patten, 8 is enough.
Okay.
Was that the show?
Yeah. Oh, I hated that show.
I know.
Yeah. Although I think Dick Van Patten being in all of Weird Al Yankovic's
music videos?
Music videos is pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's not in them now, isn't he, Dad?
I don't know. I guess so.
To the internet.
Maybe he is.
Keep talking. I'm going to look up.
So this Nazi secret agent brings up the next one. And that's the end of the story.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. This will be Tales of Suspense number 73. Cover dated January of 1966. Cover art by Gene Colan and Jack Abel. And, of course, this is the Iron Man cover, so it's Iron Man fighting the Black Knight. The supervillain Black Knight, not Dane Whitman, who sucks. I just don't like the Avenger Black Knight, and we'll talk about that later, but he's okay. But anyway, the story we're going to talk about is Where Walks the Sleeper, written by Stan Lee, with layouts by Jack Kirby, and pencils and inks by George Tuska.
Alright, so the first sleeper is walking around, bashing everything. Captain America gets the idea, let's go to the NATO base. And he can get and steals a motorcycle from somebody. So, and the...
Oh, Dick Van Patten died this year.
Wow.
In June. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Okay. So the Nazi lady has somebody dig up something and then smack this device and it explodes. And here comes this Devil Ray space plane or something. And it looks okay.
It looks like a manta ray, which is neat.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad. And it starts blasting away everybody. So Cap gets on top of it. And the manta ray goes and picks up the big robot. So we have 2 of the 3 sleepers. Did I mention there's 3 sleepers? Yes.
Well, there are.
Yeah. So the third Nazi agent sleeper guy, he gets something out of Hawk.
Out of a pawn shop. Yeah. Which is like, who keeps something in a pawn shop for 20 years?
Yeah. So he goes to this Prussian statue and hits a button. And then NATO jets attack the attack the sleeper vehicle. Cap gets knocked off and he goes into the water.
Yeah.
And it's time for the next issue.
Well, okay.
The final sleep.
Okay. So let me talk about this. The next issue will be Tales of Suspense number 74. Cover dated February of 1966. Cover art penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Saul Brodsky. And then, yes, the story is called The Final Sleep. Written by Stan Lee, with layouts by Jack Kirby, and penciled and inked by George Tuska. Great splash panel with Captain America leaping into action.
Yeah. Let's see.
On the cover was really rad. We see the three sleepers together, and it looks like they're blowing up the Earth, and Cap floating around, being cool.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love this. Hey, it's Captain America. I don't care if he's Soupy Sales. So.
Wow, Soupy Sales. There's an obscure reference. He was a really big deal in the New York, New Jersey area. You know, that part of it.
It was national with the.
He went national, but he didn't take off. He was a big deal in that area, but they just the rest of the country did not take to Soupy Sales.
No, he did it was a kids show.
Yeah.
And one of the gags is, hey kids, send me those green pieces of paper in your parents' wallets to me at this address. And the kids did and got in a lot of trouble, but it was loads of fun.
That is loads of fun.
Okay, so Cap goes into
how to get money real easy, like.
Yeah. Cap goes into NATO airbase. The soldiers try to stop him, and I guess he doesn't fight against American soldiers like he does Nazi soldiers, so they're able to grab him. And here comes
because he doesn't want to hurt American soldiers. Right. Because he's trying to contact this general.
Mm-hmm. And the general comes by and says, "Oh, whatever he says goes."
Because he's Captain America, man.
Yeah. And the general's got some good sense.
Yeah.
So that talk, Colonel. When Captain America sounds off, you listen, mister.
Yeah, because one guy was saying, who are you? Why should I listen to you? And it's like, the other guy sets him right.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
So they're waiting for the third sleeper. They don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And they shoot rockets and send tanks, and nothing happens.
Against the two sleepers that are already flying around and being bad. Being real bad robot-like.
The third sleeper agent, he goes to the Prussian statue, and he hits a button.
It's like a twisted, twist some letters on the plate of the statue. You know what I'm saying? What do they call those? Plaque.
Yeah, and he thinks, oh, I'm going to be great in the new Nazi age.
And then there's a big explosion, and he dies right away. Good.
Mm-hmm.
But then the third sleeper starts floating up out of the ground, and it looks kind of like the Red Skull.
Actually, it looks handsomer than the Red Skull, but it's just a big head. It's a bust.
Yeah.
And it attaches to the other two, so it makes the big sleeper.
Yeah. Although it looks, there's no way a thing like this could fly. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Although, okay, let's talk about this. Why not use these things in World War II? Wouldn't that have been useful?
Yeah, I think the Red Skull was doing this kind of like not with the Führer's permission. He just kind of did his own thing.
All right, he could have won the war.
The Sleeper's whole thing is to blow up the Earth. Let's talk about that.
No, that's what they figure it's going to do. The Sleeper's going to destroy the Earth. The Nazis can't have it. Nobody can.
Wow.
Yeah. So they don't know what to do. So, but Captain America does. So somehow Captain America gets the idea of getting a flamethrower and jumping out of an airplane on top of the Sleeper and using the flamethrower and blowing it up. And how does he get this idea? Why, if missiles don't work?
It's kind of like you couldn't just shoot the Death Star with lasers from your spaceship, but if you hit that exhaust port, that was only 2 meters wide.
Yeah, but they had the plans to know to hit the exhaust port.
Right.
But
the answer is comics.
Yeah. And yeah. So it works, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over. We won. It wasn't all in vain. The world still belongs to the brave and the just and the free. That's cool. It's a wonderful idea. It just wasn't done well. It went too fast and too slow at the same time. And
Yeah, we breezed through these past couple issues. They're like all action, and I think there was a couple like as you mentioned, kind of like, wait, what? Like, not all the dots were connected as far as the plot goes. Like, how did he know? He just knew.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah, a flamethrower will do it. He could have put up he brought up a anti-tank rocket, and that'd be hotter than a flamethrower, or something. Or there's tank mines you put on that are magnetic, and you can put on something and it'll blow up. But flamethrowers are cool, I understand. But yeah, it could have been a lot better. They could have, I don't know.
Try not to let it ruin your day, okay, Jim?
Yeah. I was disappointed with it, but I still had fun reading it.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay.
Overall, how'd you dig these issues of Cap?
I actually enjoyed the World War II ones.
I think they were pretty cool. I think we're going to get more into some super villainy and other things.
Yeah.
I think, spoilers, next Cap episode we do is going to have Batroc the Leaper.
Oh,
who
good.
I love. He's just loads of fun.
Yeah, all right. Well, until next time, we'll see you in the funny pages.